Hey friends, so today your nutrition lesson is going to be all about intuitive eating. So when you first registered for my program, you would have received my nutrition guide, and in my nutrition guide, I simply talk about my approach to nutrition. And it's kind of has a two-prong approach. My approach is intuitive eating, which we're going to talk about today, and be aware of and counting your macros, which is something that you would have been doing when you utilized my Fitness Pal. So if you're not familiar with intuitive eating, let's talk about it. Like, what the heck is intuitive eating? And it's actually a really simple concept. It's the concept of just listening to your body and giving your body what it needs. Simple concept, harder to implement, because over the course of time, as we have grown up, we have been given messages that have taught us to ignore the signals that our body is sending us. And here's what I mean. When one of my little boys was just 5 years old, he got pneumonia. He was really sick. I took him into the doctor and I was concerned. I was like, how much should he be resting? Is he allowed to play? Should I just keep him on the couch so he can get better? And the doctor said, actually just follow his lead on this. Kids are actually much better at listening to their body and giving their body what it needs than what adults are. And I kind of took that information, I kind of stuck it in my back pocket, and I've held on to it. And I found it to be true, and here's why. When we're kids, if we're hungry, we eat. If we're not hungry anymore, we stop eating because we don't pay attention to these outside pressures and messaging that we receive as far as like, oh, don't eat those carbs, or oh, better finish all that food on that plate, or oh, you're eating too much right now. Even if you're hungry, that's a little bit too much. When we're real young, we're not hearing that early in life, and we're not paying attention to it. But then what happens is we do start to be exposed to that messaging, and we start to pay attention to it, and it kind of sits in our brains for a very long time. And so what we are doing right now is we're helping you to return back to your roots when you're a young kid and paid attention to your body. So here's the simple process of intuitive eating. And we talked a little bit about this in one of our nutrition lessons titled, What Do You Need? So it's kind of tags along with that. But when you're feeling hungry, hit pause. Ask yourself, why am I hungry right now? What do I need? Do I need food? Maybe I didn't get enough to eat at lunch. Maybe my lunch wasn't nutrient dense enough, and so I'm hungry. Do I need food? Am I thirsty? Am I experiencing some mental or emotional distress or sadness or stress or anxiety? Do I need something relationally? What do I need? Okay? And if the answer is that you truly do need some food, eat some food. The second piece of that is, let's say you're eating your dinner and it's delicious and you're to the point that you're no longer hungry anymore. Your hunger's been satiated. And I think we all know there's this point where we're not hungry anymore, but that food tastes really good and we kind of want to keep eating. And then we kind of push ourselves into having eaten a little bit too much, and then we're full and we don't feel good and our stomach kind of hurts. So the other piece to intuitive eating is when you are eating a meal to slow yourself down and listen to your body. And in that moment where your hunger has been satiated, when you're not hungry anymore, to be okay with hitting pause and stopping. And you don't have to finish the whole thing. Knowing that in a couple hours, if you're hungry again, you can eat again. You can give your body some more food. So you may be noticing that the key to intuitive eating is you have to slow yourself down internally and create some margin internally to start to develop an awareness of what your body needs, and to start to ask yourself that what do I need question, why am I hungry question, why do I want to keep eating if I'm feeling full or if I'm feeling satiated question. You do need to slow down and hit pause to be able to ask those questions. So just to recap real quickly, intuitive eating is the simple practice of listening to your body, paying attention to your hunger cues, developing mind-body awareness, and giving your body what it needs in the form of nutrition. We aren't very good at that as adults because when we were young kids, we received messaging that taught us how to not listen to our body or how to ignore our body, and whether that messaging was directly from your family or people close in your life, or if it was just direct messaging from culture in general. It's there. So we kind of lost the ability to know how to do that, and so we're trying to help you return to that, and it requires slowing down, paying attention, and asking why. So here are your takeaways. Here is your assignment after watching this lesson. I want you to start to pay attention to the why question, right? When I'm done eating, and am I still hungry even after I finish eating? If so, why? Take a look at what you ate. Look at your macros. Look at your portions. Did you get enough to eat? Okay? While I'm eating, am I eating past the point of no longer being hungry and into being full and probably more than what I need? Pay attention to that. Ask why. The third piece is I want you to receive lots of grace and be patient with yourself, because this process isn't going to happen overnight. This takes time, it takes patience, and it takes persistence. I always tell my clients that we are changing the internal culture of you as it relates to food and exercise. It's kind of like turning a cruise ship around. Cruise ships are huge, right? They carry thousands of people and they're out in the ocean. They're massive and they can be turned around, but it takes time and persistence and patience. And it's the same with this process, but I promise you that as you commit to it, and as you slow yourself down, as you develop that awareness, and you ask those questions, it will heal and improve and you will grow. I'm proud of you. Reach out if you have any questions on this.